And then, yesterday, just 10 days after Buffalo, that plague struck again in Uvalde, Texas, where 19 innocent children and 2 teachers were gunned down at Robb Elementary in the middle of the school day, just before the start of summer, when these kids were looking forward to having such a wonderful time with their family and friends. Gone. They're gone. The shooter crashed his truck near the school, overpowered the police already at the scene, and reportedly began shooting inside a 4th grade classroom. 19 kids, 2 teachers, forever gone in the blink of an eye. America's gun epidemic is unmatched by any of our peer nations in the world. No American is safe from it, and the American people are sick and tired of it. But we also have a problem, a big problem, here in the United States Senate. A big problem in the United States Senate. The problem in the Senate is simple. Too many members on the other side of the aisle are disconnected from the suffering of the American people. Too many members on that side care more about the NRA than they do about families who grieve victims of gun violence. As I said, the American people are sick and tired of mass shootings. They're sick and tired about active shooter alerts. They're sick and tired of children, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, being shot, gunned down in their schools. When I read the news of yesterday's shooting, I ached for the families, and then thought, what if it was one of my children? I imagined what I would feel if this happened to one of them. The mere thought, just thinking about it, was a gut punch in my stomach. The fear sent ripples down my spine. To my Republican colleagues, imagine if it happened to you. Imagine if this was your kid or your grandkid. How would you feel? Could you ever forgive yourself for not supporting a simple law that would make these mass shootings less likely? Please, 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 damn it, put yourself in the shoes of these parents for once. Maybe that thought, putting yourself in the shoes of these parents instead of in the arms of the NRA, might let you wriggle free from the vice-like grip of the NRA, might free you to act on even a simple measure. For the sake of these children, these 9-year-olds, these 10-year-olds, these 11-year-olds, these beautiful children, please, damn it, please, think if it was your child or grandchild. Now, Madam President, it wasn't always this way in Congress. Nearly 30 years ago, I was proud to be the author of the Brady Bill and a leader of the assault weapons bans. These were major legislative accomplishments, and they worked because they were good, common-sense laws. And they passed because both sides of the aisle worked together. And because they became law, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands perhaps, lives were saved. Children, elderly people, people of color, you name it. People now walking the streets who might have been dead had we not passed these laws. But today, the NRA has made it all but impossible for even the bare minimum to move forward in Congress. And the other side is all too ready to bow in obeisance to the NRA in service of their whims. Madam President, these types of shootings used to be rare. So rare, in fact, that each occurrence stood apart as a singular event. But now these shootings happen so frequently that the nation can barely keep up, barely mourn the 10 people shot in the grocery store in Buffalo before being rocked to our collective core by the slaughter of 19 elementary school children in the predominantly Latino community of Uvalde, Texas. These shootings happen everywhere. Movie theaters, churches, synagogues, concerts, nightclubs, grocery stores, college campuses, high schools, elementary schools with beautiful children getting ready to move out into the prime of life. Honestly, I thought Sandy Hook 10 years ago would be the breaking point. I thought that that would be the tragedy that forced Republicans to examine their conscience and think, oh, God, we can't allow school children to be slaughtered. Well, I was wrong. The slaughter of 20 elementary school children in Sandy Hook didn't move them. We heard about their thoughts and their prayers, but no action. Then came Aurora and the Navy Yard. Then after Charleston, I thought, maybe this is the moment. 9 Americans shot in a church during Bible study? This has to move the Republicans here in the Senate. Nope, it didn't. They gave a few.
All right, we have lost that live feed there. We were, though, just listening to a really rather impassioned speech by Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader in the United States. He's speaking there, of course, after that shooting in Texas at a school that left 19 children dead and 2 teachers as well. Chuck Schumer there speaking of what he called America's gun epidemic. He said that there were some Republican lawmakers who cared more about the NRA, that is the National Rifle Association, than they do for American lives. Well, listening to Chuck Schumer with me was our foreign editor, Philip Turl. And Philip, just what did you make of that kind of language in the room there?
Well, there's no doubt about it that this shows the big divide between Democrats and Republicans. And I think if there is one big divide in the United States separating the two, one of the big ones is over gun crime in the country, and this impassioned plea by Chuck Schumer listing all of these different shootings in the US over the past 10 years, just the most recent one in Buffalo, the one yesterday as well, in Uvalde, where 19 children died. The second worst shooting of children after Sandy Hook 10 years ago, saying that the big problem in the Senate is it's disconnected from the suffering of the American people, and the Republicans are more willing to jump into the arms of the National Rifle Association than to put themselves in the shoes of the parents of the victims of the shooting, and that the Republicans should have examined their conscience after the Sandy Hook massacre 10 years ago when 20 children died. They haven't done it, and they haven't done it several times since then when there have been similar massacres, for example, one in a church where Bible reading was taking place. So whether this is going to change anything, to be quite honest with you, Nadia, I don't think so, because they're not going to be the right numbers, and the Republicans who remain unwilling to move on this, I think there is movement, but very slowly, are not going to be in sufficient numbers to get the law changed to clamp down on the sale and the ownership of weapons in the US.
Philip Turl, thanks very much.